I spent the entire weekend in hiding. Marcellus didn't make a single move. After that fever dream of a night, he had vanished as if he'd never existed. Part of me was frustrated, even annoyed. We'd been that close. Did I really mean nothing to him? Did he feel absolutely nothing? Haunted by those questions, I tossed and turned all night. By Monday morning, I arrived at the office, looking like a raccoon, dark circles bruising my eyes. I'd barely settled in when Celeste walked in. Guilt pricked at my conscience. I couldn't even bring myself to look her in the eye. God only knew if Marcellus had said anything to her. But then Celeste was her usual effervescent self. She walked over, sat down beside me, and gave my shoulder a friendly pat. "Mackenzie, honey, you won't believe it!" Marcellus finally turned a new leaf. Hearing his name made my entire body lock up. "What do you mean?" Celeste set down her travel mug, took a sip of her latte, and beamed at me. "He asked me about going on a blind date this morning. Can you guess what happened?" I pricked up my ears, waiting for the punchline. Celeste, thrilled that her son had finally decided to rejoin the dating scene, leaned in and whispered, "He actually said yes. He said yes." My heart didn't just sink. It plummeted, crashing through the floorboards. I couldn't even name the sensation. It was a cocktail of regret, sharp anger, and something painful. I sat at my desk, staring into space. I wanted to laugh, but the curve of my lips felt like nothing more than self-mockery. Serves me right, drinking like a fool, letting things get blurred, being such a coward. Worse, I was furious with myself. I'd seen it all in my years. How could I be falling apart over a guy 2 years younger than me? Celeste didn't notice my inner turmoil. She kept chattering on. The girl was perfect, sweet, cute, a primary school teacher, and 2 years younger than him. Everything was just right. "Don't you think they're a perfect match, Mackenzie?" she asked. "Yeah," I forced myself to nod. "They seem like a great match." The rest of the day was a blur. I was completely checked out. At 3 p.m., a coworker ordered gourmet coffee. When the delivery driver walked in, I shot up from my chair. "Marcellus!" The shout turned every head in the office, including the delivery guys. But when he looked up, the spell broke. It wasn't him, just someone with a similar build. I let out a tense laugh and waved it off. "Sorry, my mistake." I glanced around, relieved that Celeste wasn't nearby to witness my lapse in composure. But as I sank back into my chair, staring at my phone at the silent WhatsApp thread that never buzzed, I felt a chill of dread. Damn it. I was a goner. I'd actually fallen for the handsome, slightly arrogant kid 2 years my junior. It was the most productive I'd ever been at my desk. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom, but I hadn't finished a single spreadsheet. I stared at the screen until my head swam. When the workday finally ended, I said a quick goodbye to Celeste and shuffled out, moving as slowly as humanly possible. The guilt was eating me alive. She treated me like a professional peer, and I had just slept with her son. Suddenly, someone blocked my path. I kept my gaze down, catching sight of a pair of high-end sneakers. My eyes travelled up a light-coloured designer tracksuit, and, further up, to a face that was dangerously, frustratingly handsome. "What are you daydreaming about? You're going to walk into a pole." His voice was low, laced with a mock reprimand. My focus, however, was on one thing. He didn't treat me with the formal distance I'd been hoping for. I blinked, looking around frantically. "Relax. My mum left ages ago," Marcellus said, preempting my panic. I let out a breath and looked up at him. "What are you doing here?" He didn't hesitate. One eyebrow arched as he leaned in, bracing a hand against the wall beside my head. "I'm here to find you. Find me?" I instinctively looked away, unable to hold his gaze, my fingers twisting the strap of my bag. "Yeah. I need you to be my girlfriend." The confession was so blunt, so sudden, that I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs. I stammered, tongue-tied. But just as the tension peaked, Marcellus threw a bucket of ice water over the moment. "I'm kidding. My mum set me up on a blind date. I need you to play the part of my girlfriend to get her off my back." "Oh." I frowned, crossing my arms to steady myself. "I'm older than you. It's not appropriate. Find someone else." "I like them older." Before I could process that, Marcellus grabbed my wrist. He didn't give me a choice. He guided me toward the car he'd parked at the curb and opened the door for me.